Hey, everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Chasing Daylight podcast. We got another interview segment for you today featuring Patrick Lindsey from the Shriners Children's Hospital Open, the golf tournament, PGA Tour golf tournament that takes place here in Vegas in a couple weeks. How you doing today, sir?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm thrilled. I'm happy. I'm excited, mainly for you guys because you're here. This is a tournament that's taking place in the fall event, fall series, FedEx Fall, whatever you want to call it. But happy that you guys are sticking around.
Yes. Yeah, we're happy to be here too. This is now the 16th year of Shriners Children's being the title sponsor of the event, and it's also the 40th year of consecutive PGA Tour golf here in the Valley. So we're happy to be here and make all of that happen.
So how nervous or anxious was it going into the unknown with what was going to happen with this fall series?
Well, we always knew that there was going to be a fall series, or that we would be a part of some type of schedule that was going to happen. I mean, we Shriners Children's and this event, we are contracted with the tour through 2026, and hopefully, once that comes and goes, much further. We want to be here for a while, and hopefully, this PGA Tour fall is successful, and we continue to see growth with the event. We still continue to see some great ratings that come out of the broadcast. And if all of that continues to go well, hopefully we'll be here for a while. So it was never really nervous about the event being in jeopardy. But there's a lot of unrest, and probably still is some unrest regarding just professional golf as a whole, as we've now lived through 2 years of live
Live.
golf versus PGA Tour golf, and this new partnership that is still being formed, I believe, between the PIF and the PGA Tour, and ultimately, how does that change or affect us moving forward? I'm kind of optimistic, cautiously optimistic about it. Hopefully this agreement, this partnership, will have some type of a way for live players to come back to the PGA Tour, which is great for us because it means we get some past champions back, and we have the ability to bring some additional excitement to the event by bringing Bryson DeChambeau back, Kevin Na back into our field, being able to see Brooks Koepka playing the event again. Those are things that we would be excited about, and we'll see ultimately if that happens or not. I think there's still probably a year away for us to understand if that's happening, but it leaves us with a little bit of optimism.
Is the PGA Tour in constant contact with you guys, letting you know what's going on with that, or are you as much in the dark as I am?
It's probably somewhere in between, probably. As it probably should be, right?
Yeah.
I think they're working behind the scenes on making sure that the product is set up to be as strong as possible moving forward. And once there's some concrete details, we're usually shared those details prior to it becoming more kind of you know public public knowledge. Doesn't always happen that way, as kind of what happened on June 6th. Kind of everybody found out about this agreement, this framework agreement, all at the same time. But um, you know, I I'm optimistic that moving forward, that those communication channels get cleaned up a little bit, and we kind of know about it, and can prepare things a little bit sooner before everyone else knows.
Has there ever been a desire from your standpoint on the tournament to get it moved to what is now the regular season?
Um, there's there's been different conversations internally and out in the community about, does that set us up for a better field, better date, better TV broadcast? I mean, there's a lot of things that have to go into it that need to make that happen. Um, you know, there is a significant value to going to a different date in the spring, but there's also a significant financial package that
Yeah.
exists with that as well, in order to move the event from a fall to a spring. But there's also there's other things that kind of need to happen. One, there needs to be a date that's open. There's currently not a date open in the spring or the summer for there to be a PGA Tour event here in Las Vegas at a different date. There's also changes that would have to take place in the agronomy of the golf course. TPC Summerlin does not oversee their golf course, so it would be really hard to have an event here in the spring while that grass is dormant. So it'd be really hard to have that event. Plus, I would argue that the weather is not the best here in Las Vegas to have a PGA Tour event,
It would be
where we
tough.
are still dealing with some different temperature ranges. Grass is in dormancy, the wind is high, so it would be hard to have that event. And obviously, you're not going to have an event here in the summer. It is just too hot,
Yeah.
right? We don't want to deal with those 110-degree temperatures.
Oh, I want to see those guys playing in it, but I know they won't.
We probably wouldn't have a whole lot of spectators out there, but
Yeah, right.
because of all of those things, really this golf course and the weather here in Las Vegas really sets us up to be best suited to have an event that first or second week of October, because the golf course is in its most healthy state, going through a really nice growing season in the summer. And then it starts to cool. The weather starts to cool down a little bit, so we should have 75 to 85 kind of degree temperatures for our spectators to have a great experience as well. So I've kind of said it from the beginning, like, you put all those things together, the best time for Las Vegas to host a PGA Tour event is the first or second week of October, and that's where we are.
Yeah, the weather, you can't beat Vegas in October. I'm sorry, you can't.
Vegas fall is beautiful, and the winds aren't bad, really. Kind of that first part of the fall either. So it really sets us up to have a nice event.
So when the CJ Cup was out at Shadow Creek and then at Summit, are you seeing a big difference in the guys that have signed up to play in Shriners or agreed to play in Shriners that were in those events, and now that it's not here with the fall FedEx Fall, is it changing the field pretty dramatically?
I would say even before CJ Cup was here, see the CJ Cup being in market the week after us in those two kind of COVID years, definitely helped keep our field strong. I would say though that our strongest field was in 2019, when we had Brooks Koepka, Adam Scott, Phil Mickelson were kind of really our three headliners that year. So really 2019, kind of before all the live stuff happened, before COVID, that was really our strongest field. And then in 2020 and 2021, our field remained really strong. Then last year, really good base of guys. Had a couple kind of star players, and like Patrick Cantley, Ricky Fowler, for instance, who both played the event. Obviously, have a great champion in Tom Kim, who was coming off an incredible President's Cup, becoming kind of this international kind of superstar golfer. And he's followed it up with a really nice year this year. And we're excited to have Tom Kim back to play. I think the biggest unknown is just, how does the new structure of points, how some guys are playing for FedEx Cup points, some guys are not playing for FedEx Cup points in the fall based on whether or not they're in the top 50 from the previous season's FedEx Cup or not. We just don't really know yet who will play and who won't play. There are going to be guys who just love our event, whether it's because of Las Vegas, the weather, the golf course, the cause, and Shriners Children's. We think that there are a lot of guys, regardless of where they end up in the field, whether they're finished last year's FedEx Cup in the top 10, or if they are in 51 and beyond. I think there's definitely some guys who are going to continue to play the event, and we're always think about playing the event based on those factors. Really feel that guy 51 all the way down should absolutely be playing in the fall, and
Yeah.
there's good reason for them to play in the fall. As you know, if you finish in the top 10 in the PGA Tour fall, number 51 through 60, you're getting into some signature events next year that you wouldn't already be in. So there's reason for those guys who are 51 down to continue playing, so that they can be in the signature events for next year. But I think guys are still trying to really understand what this fall schedule is and what they want their schedule to be. So it might be, we might know more after this year. It might take a couple of years for guys to really understand. We know that, guys, no matter where they're ranked, still need to play golf. They need to maintain that competitive, advantage that they have on the golf course, that competitive feel out there, and that our event and other fall events provide that opportunity. There's also a lot of money to still play for. I mean,
Yeah.
our purse this year is $8.4 million. First place gets uses at 1.5 million dollars is first place.
Wow.
You still get a 2-year exemption to play on the PGA Tour. You still get an exemption to play in the Masters. So there's a lot of reasons for guys, whether you're ranked in the top 10 or in the bottom third, to continue to play in the fall.
Absolutely. And it was kind of surprising. I don't know if you heard, what's his name? He said the fall series was BS. And
Jimmy Walker.
Jimmy
just
Walker,
said that.
thank you. Yeah. And I really don't understand his beef with it. I think it's outstanding.
Yeah. Well, I think, for him, I forget where he finished, numerically wise in the FedEx Cup this year. I think he was just within the top 125 going into the playoffs. And typically, as the playoff changed from 125 to 70, and previously that would have allowed him to maintain his tour card for next year, right? And now he has to play the fall as a veteran player, in order to keep his card. Now he has to play well for the next few months to keep his card going into the next year. That seemed to be his beef with it. And it's change is ultimately what this kind of comes down to, is that it's change, and it's going to take a little bit to adjust to it. Some guys are going to really like it, and some guys aren't going to like it. If Jimmy, who is playing in our event, we're looking forward to having Jimmy here also as an MGM ambassador, who is a great partner of ours as well. If they come out and he comes out and plays really, really well, or wins our event or wins a fall event, he's set up for the next 2 years, and he's playing in the Masters, and
his opinion might change.
Yeah, you're correct, and you're right. His opinion might change. That might be a great thing. So.
Yeah, I think it's giving the guys the opportunity that maybe you got into a funk and you fell out of the points, and now you've got your game dialed back. You've got some opportunities to go out there, like you said, win some money, get some exemptions, get into a signature event, get into the Masters. I mean, it's a great opportunity.
Yeah, I think that guy who's number 126, previously, guy 126
went to Corn Ferry, right?
Doesn't have his tour card for next year,
yeah.
Right? So now, guy who finished 126 can go out and have a really good fall and completely change his professional trajectory, and get his tour card next year, possibly win, all of that we've already said. But, it gives those guys below 125 to kind of rewrite their story a little bit for the year.
Yeah, you're looking at the PGA Tour potentially, not the Corn Ferry schedule.
Right.
So how is your marketing changed for this? Or because I know in years past you target the big names because everybody wants to see the big names, of course. With how this is weighing out, and when does the field finalize?
The Friday before.
The Friday before. Okay, so
Friday, October 6th.
The 6th. So how are you guys going about marketing this event being a new fall event?
We're Nish and Chris, two very amateur golfers on a quest to play the top 100 courses in the UK and Ireland, after Chris set this challenge on a drunken Saturday night in my kitchen. Join us on our frequently humorous journey of a lifetime as we grapple with the logistical and financial challenge of playing some of the best courses in the world, as well as grappling with our games, because let's face it, it's never just about playing. Sometimes the score matters too. Listen to the Top 110 Golf Podcast wherever you get your podcasts.
Our communication hasn't changed too much. We're still staying very close to players, very close to agents. Especially the agents who have a pretty big, pretty wide range of PGA Tour player representation, trying to get their thoughts on where things are going, where they're headed, understanding kind of like this window, like this next 2-week window, is really important. Because a lot of guys, they grinded through a really busy kind of final summer schedule. Now they've had a few weeks off, depending on how far deep they went into the PGA Tour playoffs, whether or not they're playing, on the Ryder Cup. The international guys who are not European, who aren't playing in the Ryder Cup, obviously they have a little bit more time off. That time off, I think, just gets these guys kind of a little anxious that they need to be out there and they need to be playing. So how someone is feeling in July or August when they're on this really kind of hectic run to try to improve their position and kind of set themselves up for the most success possible for the playoffs, they might have a different feeling in about 10 days whether or not they want to play our event or not, as they've just kind of been home and relaxing. They might get that kind of jitter to get out and play. So we're just really staying close to the agents, trying to just figure out what might help some guy to come play our event or not. If there's anything that we can do to make sure that they're comfortable here, arrange activities for their wife, for their family, for themselves, just to kind of help bring that Vegas hospitality into that inner player circle.
Nice. So a lot of new stuff this year. I want to get to the Club 360, but before that, this is the second year with the new grass, right? The second tournament with the new grass. Right. How's the feedback been from people who've been playing it, and the thoughts on that?
Yeah, for sure. Last year I think everyone was really pleasantly surprised. I know that the tour agronomy group was trying to be a little conservative with expectations, as the grass was still kind of growing in a little bit. But last year's tournament, the feedback that they got was overwhelmingly positive. The guys thought it was a lot better than they thought it was going to be going into it, as just still understanding that it was still growing in a little bit. I think the feedback that we're going to get this year is going to be incredible. I mean, it's had 2 full growing periods now. I was just out there the other day. It looks beautiful. No cart paths, or no carts on, or I should say carts are only on the cart paths right now for the duration throughout the tournament. So really everything should be, immaculate condition. The greens are great. They just did a small punch about a month ago, and those are fully healed. So it really should be great. I know that they are still adding to the agronomy report that continually gets pushed out to the players, but it has been overwhelmingly positive, which I think also helps us with that player recruiting piece. If there's not a good agronomy report, then you might see some guys kind of hold back as well. But as more agronomy reports come out showing the success of the new grass, then we should see some additional guys coming to the field. Is also kind of our hope. But it looks great out there. I mean, the tour and TPC Summerlin absolutely did their due diligence through a good 12 to 24 month period of trying to decide what would be the best grass by kind of planting that in different areas. And I think they nailed it. It looks great out there.
Awesome. Any other changes to the course?
No changes to the actual golf course, but we got a lot of tournament changes. We sat down at the end of last year, kind of really around like the first quarter of the event, or excuse me, the first quarter of the year last year, and decided that we feel like we have a really good on-site experience, but we also kind of felt that there was some improvements that we could make to make it a little bit better. One of those things, really just outside my window, we got a brand new entrance. There's a pond right outside our entrance that connects to Village Center Circle and Hillshire Drive, kind of the corner of TPC Summerlin's property. And we're going to bring everybody in off of the road right there. Our shuttle drop off will be right there. People will step right off the bus, right into the new entrance gates, kind of walk around this pond that's next to our office, rather than having to walk up to kind of that pavement driveway
Yeah.
of the club that I've never been a huge fan of. But really going to be a really more nice aesthetic main entrance. We're going to be able to beautify it even more. Some tournament signage, some past champion flags.
So is that like where the media tent was and the like right at the range?
That's where the spectators will end up. So they'll kind of walk around our pond and then pop right up to where the media center used to be, and we have now repositioned the media center. So that was one change, but we also wanted to make sure that just the spectator experience once they kind of got out onto the golf course had been improved as well. So we've added bleachers to the first tee and to the 10th tee,
Nice.
which I always felt was a fun, exciting place to watch some golf and
Absolutely.
to just be there and experience it, and to sit down and maybe catch your breath a little bit, have a beverage while you're there. Gives also a great place for families with kids to go and just kind of sit and watch a little bit of golf. So we're excited to bring bleachers back to the first tee and the 10th tee. We've also added a family fairway that Intermountain Healthcare is going to be the sponsor of, but we're going to have face painting and airbrush trucker hat designs for the kids, a coloring wall. We've got a milkshake truck. We've got the pink box donut truck. We've got barbecue over there as well by Big B's Texas Barbecue. So, and some yard games. So that area, and that's just right off 18 fairway, called the family fairway. That should be a really fun place for our families to go, and also kids get in to the event for free. So really, anyone 18 years and younger can get into the event for free with a ticketed adult. So really affordable for the family. But we also wanted to, and you just mentioned it, a new structure, probably the biggest thing that we're doing, called Club 360, which is exactly kind of where the Hill, I think a lot of our fans have become very knowledgeable of what the Hill is for our tournament. And the Hill was a 100 by 100, 10,000 square foot kind of sports bar with elevated food and beverage available for purchase. The Hill still exists, but it will be on the first level of a new double-decker structure. So the Hill will still exist. It will still have upgraded food and beverage for purchase. Still great views of 16, 17, and 18 right there. It will house our new merchandise. So our merchandise and fan shop will be in that structure. And again, it's open to the public.
Nice.
So we're excited to bring merchandise out onto the golf course. But the second level of this structure is what we're really, really excited about. And again, it's called Club 360. It's a $125 ticket on Thursday and Friday and $175 on Saturday and Sunday. It includes drinks, but does not include food. Food available for purchase though, but it does include your drinks. But this will be on the second level of a double-decker structure, right there on kind of right where the Hill sat. And I think you're going to have the most incredible views we've probably ever been able to showcase before. Views of 16, 17, and 18. I think you're going to be able to see number 1. I think you'll be able to see number 10. It's being constructed right now, so I'll be able to get up there real soon so I can see it. But you're going to have views of the Strip. I mean, it's really going to be beautiful from up there. And all of that. High Noon came on board with us, who I think is probably the most popular hard seltzer right now in the game.
Yeah, by far.
And just excited to have their partnership and helping us elevate that structure. But it should be really, really fun, a good time up there.
How many people are going to be able to fit up there?
Yeah. So at any one time, 440 is the
Wow.
occupancy. Yeah. Yeah. So our goal is to sell around 600 tickets a day, knowing not everybody's up there at the same time. But yeah, there should be a good time up top.
Yeah, the being able to see one, I think, is going to be pretty cool from that perspective.
I agree.
Because
I
it's a
agree.
you got the valley, you got the skyline. I mean, just great idea. Whoever came up with it, high five to that person. So
Well, again, we just knew we needed to make a little bit of a change, and like what's the thing? There's also a lot of competition in our market during our week. There's a lot going on, and we wanted to come in and make a splash and do something really a lot of fun, and something that will help define the tournament moving forward too.
so have the engineers given the okay for 360 plus the third level?
You see more and more tournaments go 3 levels.
It's
So
crazy.
yeah. There's a lot of triple deckers. We're not there yet, but maybe if this thing is ultra successful, we can get there.
How are the suites and everything along 17? I noticed last year there was a lot more
Yep.
than previous years. Is that still continuing? Is there more coming, or is it going to be like how it was last year?
Yeah, pretty much how it was last year, which we were really happy with. I mean, really kind of encompassing that 17th tee, kind of down 17 fairway a little bit. So the build will be exactly the same there. Our goal is still to continue to expand that and to bring that cabana product behind 16 green as well. So
Nice.
hopefully some additional expansion there in future years, but that will look just like it did last year, which got really rave reviews. It really looked great. Our clients who were in there loved it as well. And we've got a few more clients in there. Some clients have kind of moved around and have bought into different things on the golf course, but we were able to replace those with some new clients too. So which is a great thing, just to continue to provide that experience to new clients, and then hopefully next year we'll get even more, or the clients that are in there might want to expand into more than just one.
Anything else on the course new as far as fan experience wise?
That's about it. We still have the Patriots Outpost. We're still allowing free admission for military personnel and first responders, and we have an area off the 16th green for those individuals to be able to go and get some food and beverages. And that's something that I don't think will ever change. We love providing that service to our first responders and to our military personnel in the valley. So we're excited about that. The structure that's on 15 green that was new last year comes back this year as well. That became a really popular area last year as we kind of expanded the open patio to a much larger tent last year. So that will feature the same thing, but still have a lot of our same pouring partners. Corona Premier has been just an incredible partner of ours on the beer side, and excited to bring High Noon, Elijah Craig, Deep Eddy into the fold as well.
Awesome. I could totally see a triple decker looking on 15 green.
That would be fun, wouldn't it?
That would be because it's a drivable par four coming down the stretch, and then you could turn around and watch them tee off on 16.
Yeah, cool.
Telling you.
Yeah.
Okay,
Next year.
so have you guys gotten any? We talk about this occasionally on the show about tournaments at 25, 26 under, scorers, birdie fest. Everybody wants to see it. Everybody loves it. But then there's the traditionalists that are like, we want to see these guys work for their great rounds. We want to see a 5-6 under Sunday. 6 guys in it. Have you guys debated with that to make the course harder, or are you happy with how it is and 24 under doesn't bother you?
Yeah, I mean, for me, as a the tournament director, representative from Shriners, we actually have practically no say when it comes to
Really?
the actual inside the ropes competition. Um, that's not to say that the tour wants our event or any event to be 24 under. I don't even know kind of what their magic number is. Um, their most important thing that they always look for is like, is the competition fair? Is the golf course fair? Is it fair for the guy who hits at 330? Is it fair for the guy who hits at 280? Is
Yeah.
there a bunker at 330? Is there a bunker at 280? That's kind of the thing. They want the golf courses to play fair. And if it just so happens that the winner is at 8 under, or if it's at 24 under, as long
Good
as
on them.
it is a fair competition, that seems to be the driving mechanism behind it. For us in this golf course, it's all about the wind. If the wind is, that's the other thing to kind of, keep into consideration as well. We don't really have to deal with too much rain. Hardly ever, really, until
I
I've
don't
said
think I've
that.
ever been out there when it rains.
Every day.
Yeah.
But if it rains, it obviously is going to play a little softer. The green's going to be softer. The guys are going to be throwing those darts a little bit more. If it's windy, we can't set up the golf course too hard if it's windy, because really that wind can throw that ball all over, and then all of a sudden the golf course could be unplayable if it's played too long, or if the pin positions are in too aggressive locations. So that's something that's always kind of played with. The biggest factor though in these scores is these guys are just good.
Damn good golfers.
They're just good, and there's no other way to say it. These guys are so good, and we take that for granted sometimes, and we forget how good they are, and we just think that the golf course is set up too easy, and we just forget that this isn't golf from even 10 years ago. This isn't golf from 30 years ago. These guys are in the gym. They're athletes. They're training like athletes, and they work on their craft every day, and that is what they get paid to do. That is, playing golf is their livelihood, and they are good golfers. And I think we see that even in the majors. The guys are kind of tearing up the majors as well. So it's not just our event or the other event in the spring or the summer that is played at 20 under. It's happening week in and week out because these guys are good. There's no other way to say it.
No other way to say it. You're right.
Good.
100%. When the Corn Ferry was out at Paiute, we went out and watched Harry, and there was a young kid named Sahith Thagala that was playing with him. And now he's a PGA Tour winner. And back then we were like, man, this kid can rip it. The talent pool is absolutely ridiculous on the elite level. So so who do we got big names so far? Who's committed so far that you can say?
Really, our biggest one is still our past champion. We got two more weeks. I think we should have a couple of pretty big guys that are going to fold in that we can't say anything about yet. But really, Tom Kim's our number one guy at the moment, and we're excited to have him. But we got our list of locals as well. You just kind of mentioned Harry. Harry's going to play, obviously. Taylor Montgomery, we're excited about Taylor and his growth. He had a great first year on the PGA Tour.
Yeah, he did.
As well. But we're going to see some Ryder Cup guys fold into this, some veterans, and some upcoming players as well. I'm excited to give some of our exemptions out to some young studs that are just coming out of college that should kind of be the next best thing on the PGA Tour over the course of the next few years. So we're excited about probably more excited about that than anything else. Being a tournament director now and being kind of in charge of giving out some of these exemptions, you're really paying a lot of attention to guys coming out of college, that PGA Tour University standings, the guys who are up there on the Corn Ferry as well coming out of college. Get excited about them because you're really establishing relationships with those guys so that they continue to come back and play once they are stars.
Yeah, they remember you. Hey, remember us? We gave you your first start.
That's correct.
Did the Southern Highland Collegiate Masters winner still get an invite?
Yep, Yushin Lin. So he is right now the only exemption I've given, and hopefully we'll be given some more here soon. We're trying to see where the field kind of is going to be projected to be at before we give out the other ones. But Yushin Lin, who I believe finished number 10 PGA Tour University, will definitely be in the fold and be here. So excited about him.
Our new, because we added a person to the show. So we got 4 guys on the show now. Dan Hodges is our newest co-host, I guess you could say. Keep an exemption in your pocket possibly for him. He's a stick.
Yeah.
I mean, he's one hell of a player that mini tour grinded for some years before real life and work caught up to him. But yeah, he's
happens at some point.
Yeah, right. How about the pro-ams? Let's run over the pro. I know you got some great events for the pro-ams every year.
Yep. Monday's pro-am, benefiting Shriners and the Ryan Palmer Foundation. We love having that event. And Ryan, obviously a PGA Tour veteran, but he's such a great guy. He has his own kind of personal Shriner story as well, which makes it really easy to incorporate that into our event. So Ryan Palmer Foundation event will be on Monday, guaranteed to be a great time out there. And then our championship pro-am really starts on Tuesday night. Our draw party is, well, first of all, the whole championship pro-am is presented by MGM Rewards. So again, I said their name before, but they've always been such a great partner, and glad to have them back again. But the draw party is going to be at the Cosmopolitan at the Marquee Pool. So excited about that. The ambiance out there on a Tuesday night should be incredible, watching these guys kind of pick through who they're going to play with the next day. And then on Wednesday, we'll have the actual championship pro-am. We're going to have 3 Shriners kids out there on some par 3s, getting to tell their story to the pros and the amateurs as they go through. We're going to have some NASCAR guys play in the event as well. Obviously, if everyone knows or doesn't know, NASCAR is the same weekend as us.
Race weekend.
We're excited to bring some NASCAR guys out to the PGA Tour event to play in the pro-am on Wednesday. So that should be a lot of fun. And then we're going to have Derek England past Vegas Golden Knight out there playing as well, and possibly a couple more kind of sports celebrities as well that just haven't committed yet, and hopefully we can announce soon. Kind of a new kind of golf disruptor in the marketplace has partnered with us as well, in Swag Golf.
Awesome.
Yeah, Swag has really they're kind of known mainly for their head covers at the moment.
Yep.
But they really have a vast array of products now, from apparel to putters.
I've been following Swag for a long time.
Putter mats. So we are incorporating them into the pro-am, especially in our gifting suite, and they're going to do a special experience on the 17th hole with a golf influencer to be named soon as well. So, but we're excited to bring them into
It's
the
not
fold.
me, everybody. It's not me.
It's not me.
Far from an influencer. Far from an influencer.
But it really should be a great event. But then, we'll have our Kick Off Your Heels Executive Women's Luncheon on Tuesday of the event in Club 360. We're going to have the Super Bowl host committee, female executives, do a panel discussion for that event. So that should be fun to learn a little bit more about what's going on in our city with the Super Bowl. And
doesn't the Southern Nevada Golf Hall of Fame have an event too?
Yep, that's correct. Yeah, also will take place in Club 360. But their Hall of Fame inductees will be inducted Saturday night prior to the tournament in Club 360. Volunteer
Awesome.
Party on Sunday as well. So we just got like a whole host of activities that start on Saturday and will go all the way until we crown our champion on Sunday.
Awesome, man. Awesome. I am looking forward to it. I can't wait to get out there and check out all the new stuff and sneak my way up to the second deck and check it out. I tell you, we were nervous because I got a couple friends that are members at TBC Summerlin, and it's like, we don't know, man. We don't know. So it's nice to know that it's locked in through 26 at least. And I think after this first year, the opinion of the FedEx Fall is going to change for everybody. And the guys that benefit from it are going to be like super, super promotive of it. And the guys that just missed out are going to be like, crap, I should have been participating more. So
Yep.
Excited for you guys. It's coming up in a couple weeks. Make sure you get your tickets. Where can people get tickets at?
Yep. ShrinersChildren'sOpen.com. There's 3 different options on that link, between just our general admission, hill ticket, Club 360, and then the spot presented by USA Today Sports, all encompassing food and beverage product there. So 3 different options, guaranteed to have a good experience. And then also everything goes back to Shriners Children's, right? It's all for the kids. So come out and support PGA Tour golf, come out and support Las Vegas, but most importantly, come out and support Shriners Children's and get experience of what they do for all families, regardless of their ability to pay.
Right on. Well said. Well said. Well, again, thanks so much for coming on. I know it's a crazy time of the year for you, so we really do appreciate it. And I'm looking forward to seeing you out there in a couple weeks.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for having me. Always enjoy it.
Thanks.